We have a new agent starting on our team next week, and I was going over his goals with him, and one of the things on his list in his first 30 days is to do CMAs, or really price 15 homes in his first 30 days. And he looked at me and he was like, how in the world do you price homes? And I thought, that's a great question. I think we could all use a refresher on how, as a buyer's agent or as a listing agent, do you know what the price of the home should be?
Hi, this is Tiffany Fykes, and I've been selling real estate for 9 years. Our team of highly trained professionals, along with our marketing plan, has sold over 600 homes all over the Middle Tennessee market. And this is how we do it.
Now, when I'm doing a CMA, I really like to dig into the actual numbers. So, I get into the MLS and I pull up what are similar houses in either the same neighborhood, or if the neighborhood's really small, different areas around it. I don't do a just circle on the map. I'm looking at what neighborhoods are like this, have the same amenities, or don't have HOAs. We do a lot of work in a certain neighborhood that has no HOA and no real boundaries, and people call it all kinds of different things. So I actually draw a little custom map to make sure that I'm pulling houses that are the same. Then I look at, square footage. If my house is 2,000 square feet, then I'm going to start at 1,800 to 2,200 and see, is there enough information in that pocket to get what I need? And in a lot of neighborhoods, they're kind of cookie cutter and all the houses are the same. And so, I've got 5 different houses that are in that 1,800 to 2,200 square feet. Then there are other neighborhoods where, man, it's just all over the place, and there may be only one house that sells that's 2,000 square feet. So I'm going to have to go out a little bit bigger and just make some choices. So then I'll expand just a little bit more, like 1,600 to 2,400 square feet. Then I'll also look at distinguishing factors that I know are in the neighborhood. So if I know this neighborhood has mostly 4 bedrooms and this one's a 3-bedroom, then I may care more about the bedroom number than I care about the square footage number. So you just have to do a lot of research. And that's one of the things that I love about being a neighborhood expert, is when you know a neighborhood really, really well, then you don't have to figure out what's most important to buyers, or what's happening in this neighborhood, because you sell so many of the houses and you talk to so many of the buyers, you know the things that matter. But I also sell in other neighborhoods that I don't know so well, so we do a lot of research. I also pick up the phone. You will hear me say so many times, so many different ways, pick up the phone. So when I'm doing research on houses, I'm going to call agents who had listed houses previously. Sometimes they don't want to help you, but 9 times out of 10, we're all better if we're in community together. And so I'll call them and say, man, you got an amazing price for this house. What was it? Because I couldn't see in the pictures. I'm not going to say that. But, what in the world made you, how did you do such amazing work? And you might find out, oh, well, not pictured is all this landscaping that they did, or all this work in the basement that wasn't considered. Or, and I've done this sometimes, I got an amazing price for the house, but it was the neighbor's parents or the neighbor's friends, and I knew, oh, nobody else would have ever paid that much for the house. So that's not a house that I'm going to use for a comp if something extraordinary happened. The landscaping, I can compensate for that, but the neighbor's mom bought this house for cash and, all of that, that's not a real comp, and I'm not going to say, oh, well, then I could get that much on a house that's across the street. So you're looking for distinguishing factors in the neighborhood. You want to call and find out and you can call the buyer's agent too. Like, man, what did your buyer love about this house? How did you get this house? Did you compete for the house? Just getting information about what's going on in the actual neighborhood. And with the pricing, you want to price accordingly. And then you've also got to take into effect what's the momentum of the market as a whole, the momentum of the neighborhood and the momentum of the market as a whole. So one of the things that we do, which I'll tell you about another time, is we do market velocity, which is something that we track every month for years to tell us, is the market increasing? Is it flatlining? Is it a buyer's market? What's happening? Because that informs our pricing. In a seller's market where your prices are going up, you look at past comps and you say, okay, that's probably our baseline of where it'll sell. And we maybe could go above that. In a flat market, in a buyer's market, you may have to look back at comps and say, okay, that's what it sold for then, but that's probably our ceiling. because an appraiser is never going to let us sell it for more than that. So we may need to come below it. And that's only in a market that's decreasing. So, how I priced a home in 2009 for a buyer or a seller was very different than how I priced a home in 2017 when it's a buyer's market and increasing. So always look at the statistics, ask any questions that you have. I say numbers tell stories, and in pricing homes, that's what you're looking for, is the story. So figure out, what is the story of the neighborhood? How does my house fit it? And the last thing I'll tell you is, I don't usually price homes on a price per square foot basis. That comes into play in a very traditional neighborhoods, or if I don't have a lot of other information. But usually it's around, what is a like-minded buyer seeing? So if this house is 2,000 square feet and 1,900 sold for X, Y, and Z, but it had all the same amenities, then I'm not going to necessarily go way over that price just because there's 100 square feet more. Now, if there's 100 more square feet and there's an additional bedroom, or there's an additional bathroom, or the master's in a different place, all of that is finessed into the price. And, a lot of people think pricing is a science, and I say pricing is an art. There is so much that goes into it, and nuance and shade that matters, and all the different pieces. It's not just, well, this house sold for 162 a square foot, so ours will sell for 162 a square foot because it was in a 1 mile radius. You've got to look a lot more intelligently at what's going on in the neighborhood with the houses and with your house in particular. So happy pricing, guys!